In Mad Scientist Barbecue's video on how to smoke beef ribs, he compared beef back ribs to the bony fingers of an old lady. And he went on to say to not waste your time smoking these ribs because they are not worth it. Well, on my last trip to Walmart, what do you know, I found myself a pack of beef back ribs. So I'm gonna try to smoke these with the least amount of effort possible to let you know if I think they're worth smoking. So let's get to it. So here are our beef back ribs that I picked up for $6.70 for 2 racks. I honestly think this is just one rack of 6 or 7 bones and they just cut it in half. But with that said, not a terrible deal. Okay, let's see what we're working with. Yeah, these are so thin. Gosh, is there even any meat on this thing? So again, I'm gonna try and cook these with the least amount of effort possible. So in terms of trimming off hard fat and removing membrane, I ain't doing that. So we're already ready for the binder. I'm gonna be using my 50-50 blend of soy sauce and hot sauce. And then for convenience, I'm gonna be using this Holy Voodoo rub that I got from Academy Sports, but I'll have a link to this in the description below from Amazon if you wanna pick some up. So I decided to use Holy Voodoo because it already has salt in it, so I just have to do 1 coat of seasoning and then these are already ready for the pit. Just like that, we are ready for the pit. So again, we're going for the easiest cook possible. So I'm actually gonna throw these on the Traeger at about 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm starting this cook off at 200 degrees Fahrenheit because I want these ribs to come up slowly so they can get as much smoke flavor into these ribs. To be honest with you, I didn't do a lot of research in regards to beef back ribs. So if you guys have tried beef back ribs, let me know in the comments how you usually cook these. Okay, so the ribs have been on for a little bit over an hour, so I'm gonna go ahead and increase the temperature. So another cool feature about using a pellet grill is that you can actually change the temperature from your phone. From my experience, pellet grills get a really bad rap in the barbecue community, but if you know what you're doing, you can produce some pretty good barbecue on this thing. And the model I'm using is a Traeger 780 Pro, so if you are interested in buying one, I'll have one linked in the description below. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and hike up the temperature in the cooker to 325 because I want to make sure to get these probe tender as quickly as possible because I don't want the meat to dry out. And on top of that, I'm gonna be spraying it with apple cider vinegar every 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so the ribs are done and this whole process took about 3 hours. And I have to say that in terms of effort, this was the easiest barbecue cook I have ever done in my life. And in terms of cost, I used about 1/4 of a bag of B&B pellets. So fuel cost was about $2.50. The meat itself was like $6. So I mean, $8.50 for some barbecue, that is pretty insane, especially considering how meat prices are these days. And these ribs smell really good. Like I can smell the spiciness from them from that Voodoo rub and I cannot wait to try them. But let's be real here.
These are some ugly poverty barbecue skinny ribs. That's just next top my bread tar pits ribs. Some crusty crab SpongeBob ribs. All of the twist ribs.
Well, I hope these taste better than they look, so I'm gonna go ahead and slice it up so we can get a better view. Hey, still juicy. Hey, but on the inside, these do not look half bad. Okay, it passes the effort test, the cost test, but will it pass the taste test? So let's just go ahead and grab one of these ribs. So this is the one that I have chosen. All right, cheers. Okay, in terms of flavor, pretty good. However, I'm pretty sure I could eat all of these ribs and I'd probably still be hungry. Yeah, I could definitely eat more. And also because the meat is so thin, it doesn't have that nice tender pool that like a big giant short rib would have. But that may be on me, maybe I just didn't cook these correctly. But with that said, all in all, are these worth cooking? Short answer, no. There's just simply not enough meat to justify cooking these for the 3 hours it took. Now, if you're like cooking on like a big offset and you have some extra space and you want to just throw these on, that's totally fine, but it's nothing that I would really look forward to. But definitely on its own, don't cook these. But if you want to give it a try yourself, feel free to and let me know how it turned out. And if you enjoyed this content, then you have to see my video on how I made a rich man's brisket out of a chuck roast on your screen right now.